Welcome to A Course in Business Miracles. This is Heather Dominic, creator of BusinessMiracles.com and founder and leader of the highly sensitive entrepreneur movement. Join me today for some genuine practical assistance and a business-altering and life-changing experience, a business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode 28, the business miracle of managing creative chaos to lessen overwhelm. In this episode, you will learn how to manage overwhelm as a highly sensitive entrepreneur. We're here to give focus, attention, and energy to how to ease the energy of overwhelm so that you can actually experience more ease, more productivity, and more profit for yourself and through your business. So, overwhelm. What would be most helpful, my sense is to first just get a clear definition of what we're really talking about when we're talking about the energy state of overwhelm. And the best place to start with that is to recognize first and foremost that overwhelm is an energy state. So what do I mean by that? Well, overwhelm is not something that happens to you. Overwhelm is not given to you. Overwhelm is not something that you are. So you don't get overwhelmed. You aren't overwhelmed. But the truth is that you experience overwhelm. And this is an energy state like all other energies, like the energy of worry, or the energy of doubt, or the energy of trust, or the energy of faith, or the energy of excitement, the energy of possibility. And for any of those energies or emotions to be activated, you, each of us, must be an active participant. So the key is not about whether you are or aren't overwhelmed, or whether things are or aren't overwhelming in your business, or whether you are afraid that you're going to be or get overwhelmed. It's really just a matter of how would you like to manage that energy. But what happens for most entrepreneurs, or this is something at least that I've seen over and over again, is there is a meaning that is attached to the energy state of overwhelm. There's a personal story that you have activated around what it means to be overwhelmed. Some of the common themes that I've heard over the years are storylines that sound like, I won't be able to handle it, I'll get sick, I don't know what to do first, there's too much to do all at once, where do I begin? What will happen if? What will happen if I get so many clients? What will happen if I have to start taking credit cards? What will happen if I don't manage the money flow? What will happen if there's too much that needs to go out and not enough coming in? What will happen if I don't meet that deadline, if I don't meet that due date? What will happen if this is expected of me, or that's expected of me, or God forbid that other thing is expected of me? What if I don't measure up? What if I fail? What if people find out that I can't do it? What will my family say? What will my friends say? How will I explain myself? What will I tell my partner? What will I tell my wife? What will I tell my husband? What will I tell my friends? What will I tell my children? How will I take care of it all? Deep breath in and let it out. And the first thing that I want to say to that is that there aren't one of those questions or storylines or scenarios that are actually valid. Or I should say, actually valid or helpful. The thing about overwhelm that I've really come to understand as an energy state is often what activates overwhelm is not so much of what you actually need to manage in terms of tasks, but again, the meaning that you bring to what it does or does not mean to either manage those tasks, possibly have to manage the tasks, or even just the thought of what might happen if those tasks come your way. So what's really, really helpful is to stop and recognize that nothing about overwhelm is real. It's all about what you tell yourself about it. And again, the cool, great, awesome, fantastic, amazing thing is that you have at your fingertips energy management tools that you can practically use to support you with overwhelm. And it's this state, which is exactly where so many of the energy management tools that I share with you actually came from, were actually birthed from. Me managing or looking for a way to manage how to be in this world of self-employed. When I stepped into the world of being self-employed, I was stepping out of the world of being a high school teacher. And if you want to talk about a structured way to operate your day, just dial back your memory to what it was like being in high school. And unless you were fortunate to go to some lucky, cool alternative school where you got to finger paint all day, which yay for you if that was the case. But most of us have the experience of being in high school where the bell rang and you knew which class you went to next. You knew that you had 4 minutes to get there. You knew you'd be in that class for 42 minutes. The bell would ring again. You knew where you needed to go and that you had 4 minutes to get there. So not only was that my own high school experience, but that was also my experience for 8 years as a teacher. Not a lot of room for overwhelm in that much structure. So wherever you came from career-wise before stepping into being self-employed, before stepping into being an entrepreneur, most likely somewhere along the line in your training, high school, college, you were taught that there's a linear way of being in your day. And then suddenly you step into the world of being self-employed and it's like, where's the bell? And who's ringing the bell? And why aren't they doing their job? And why don't I know what to do next or where to go 42 minutes from now? Oh, because it's all up to me. So that can be and can feel very, very scary and frightening and confusing, which is exactly why I've created a tool like the order form to the universe. The order form to the universe was created to support myself in getting clear, being able to cut through my mind clutter. And even if it was just about a schedule for my day. I needed to get super clear about what I didn't want, didn't want to feel, did want to feel, and how it is that I wanted to have others feel as a response to my actions. So that's an example of a tool that's available for you to use to help you focus, to support you in creating a sense of a linear direction in a world where there's never going to be a linear direction. And that's an important point. If you are expecting the world of being an entrepreneur to someday, at some point, even out, to be more reliable, to have a bell that rings every 42 minutes, for it to be predictable, you're going to be waiting a long, long time. What's ironic is that what attracted, most likely, most of us to being an entrepreneur is the creativity and the room for flexibility within that creativity. But then we get ourselves all freaked out because suddenly we've got so much of what we actually wanted. I remember when I first started being self-employed and started my first business, I remember that's one of the things that I was so excited about. Oh my gosh, great. I can set my own schedule. Awesome. And then I was like, oh God, I've got to set my own schedule. So it's about beginning to release the belief that it will ever be a linear process, because the truth is that you don't want it to be. If you really, really, really want the experience of being an entrepreneur to be a linear experience, really what you want is you want to be an employee. So it's about rectifying those two parts of yourself. Letting go of the story that it should be more linear, that there's something wrong with you because it's not more organized, or that there's something wrong with you because, gosh, haven't you gotten it together enough yet that it doesn't feel so chaotic, so confusing, so overwhelming? When again, that story isn't true. And the nature of being an entrepreneur is that there will always be something that's new, something that needs to be created, a situation that needs a solution, an opportunity to go to plan B because plan A didn't actually work the way that you expected it to. So it's about releasing the tendency to fight the natural nature of being an entrepreneur. And again, any stories that you might be telling yourself about that, of what that means about you or your abilities. It doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't mean anything about your abilities. All it means is that you've chosen to be an entrepreneur. From there, then it's about managing the creative chaos. And that's a term that I would use with my drama students when I was teaching high school. I would give them an assignment within the drama classroom to create something from scratch. I would often just give them a theme. I would say, the color blue, and come up with a scene that's 15 minutes long, has a beginning, middle, and end, and someone dies. You've got 10 minutes to create it. You have to work with 5 people. go. And those students learned how to do that, how to create something out of nothing in a very short amount of time. Now, in the 10 minutes that I was giving them to create the work, if anybody walked into that classroom or by that classroom, they would be like, oh my God, what is happening here? This is chaos. Because there was so much talking, and we had 4 different groups of 5 working, and, kids working it out, who's the leader, who's going to play what, all of that. But it was really creativity. It looked chaotic. It felt chaotic, but it was happening within a structure. So for myself, then when I stepped into the world of being self-employed, I came to understand, this is the nature of creative chaos, like all the time. And it's up to me to set the structure. What needs to happen in what time frame for what result? And in the same way that as a teacher, I expected them to have a result to share, a product to produce at the end of those 10 minutes. And sometimes it was amazing. It was genius work. And other times it was like, oh man, what were we thinking? But they always had something. So I realized, that's my assignment. So rather than trying to make the situation, to make the creative chaos different, rather than trying to control it, is how to work and flow with it. So it becomes, again, about first and foremost recognizing it's never going to be linear. From there, there's nothing wrong with you. From there, how do I, as an entrepreneur, choose to manage the energy of creative chaos? And what can I set up for myself in terms of structure that will support me in having a product, a result produced that matches my needs?
Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Course in Business Miracles. If you're ready to learn how to use your highly sensitive abilities to support you in being purposeful, profitable, and empowered rather than scattered, poor, and undervalued, take my free self-quiz to find out if you are indeed a highly sensitive entrepreneur. And if you are, along with your quiz results, you'll receive my free HSE Success Guide, which will teach you how to have your highly sensitive abilities working for you to create the results you desire in your business. Take the quiz and receive your free success guide now at www.hsequiz.com.